You and your partner may be considering when to claim Social Security, but don't know when it's the right time. Today, we'll be breaking down how a couple aged 57 and 63 with $1 million should plan their Social Security benefits. As the owner of a financial planning firm, my company and I have helped clients with this exact situation every single year, and the decision-making process I'm going to take you through today is the same one we've used to help our clients optimize their benefits. Understanding how to optimize Social Security with your spouse can be overwhelming. Timing it wrong could delay the most active years of your retirement or cause you to lose huge amounts of shared income to tax. In today's video, we're going to solve this. I'll not only walk you through how a couple with $1 million in assets should plan Social Security, but I'm also going to walk you through the exact thought process I use to help make the decision, so you can apply it to your own situation and analyze when you should be claiming Social Security. Here are a few of the sample assumptions. The Smiths, Sam and Sarah, want to retire in 2 years. Sam has been the highest earner throughout their career. Sarah, 57, has a moderate earnings history. Their $1 million of savings is split between retirement accounts and taxable investments. They're both in good health and have family longevity, and they want to travel in the first 5 to 10 years of retirement. They're also open to part-time work in retirement if needed. Let's walk through the key questions we need to consider when deciding their Social Security claiming strategy. As we go through each question, I'm going to explain why it's crucial and how it impacts the timing decision. What are their full retirement ages and estimated benefit amount? For the 63-year-old higher earner, estimated monthly benefit at full retirement age is $3,000. For the 57-year-old, estimated monthly benefit at full retirement age is $2,000. This matters because we need a starting point, and that's what these numbers represent. By delaying beyond full retirement age, benefits increase by 8% per year until age 70. Claiming early reduces the benefit amount. Social Security is important as it forms the basis of your income story. My hope is that your benefit amount at the very least can cover essential expenses. Next, we should consider how important extensive travel is in their early retirement years. The Smiths have expressed a strong desire to travel extensively in the first 5 to 10 years of retirement. This matters because funding these experiences could theoretically deplete savings too quickly. The key is that our sample couple wants to spend more when they're younger and healthier. I love this. I want them to live their wealth. They probably spent enough time building it, but this can be difficult. They've been conditioned to save, save, save. Now some wise guy, in this case me, comes along and says it's okay to spend, spend, spend. Many people wait too long and enter the zone of regret. They finally get the memo that they can spend more, but by then their health doesn't cooperate. Do not inhabit the zone of regret. The next thing to consider is how is their $1 million in savings allocated? Their savings are split between tax-deferred investment accounts like 401ks and IRAs and taxable investments. The reason this matters is because the mix of taxable and tax-deferred savings can influence when it's most efficient to claim Social Security. For example, if this couple has a high percentage of their savings in taxable accounts, this will lessen the amount of tax they pay on their Social Security. If we take my own experience as an example, I sold a business a few years back and ended up paying quite a bit in taxes. Some might say too much in taxes. The silver lining for me, though, is that when I retire and start collecting Social Security, I'll face lower taxes on that benefit because I won't be relying solely on tax-deferred money. So if most of our couple's savings are in tax-deferred accounts, they may find themselves paying more in taxes during retirement. The next thing to think about is, does their age difference affect this decision? There is a 6-year age difference in this scenario, and that's substantial. Since we're assuming Sam is 63 in the example, that means Sarah could live on her own for many years. That's an important consideration. We understand that life expectancy for a 57-year-old female is about 82. Average life expectancy for a 63-year-old male is 80 or 81. So if Sam passed away at 81, on average, Sarah could live another 7 or 8 years, maybe longer. So we have to take all that into account. Let's take a look in the retirement software. So let's go into the retirement tab here, and we're going to look at the Social Security. Right away, you can see that the system, most retirement planning software, will share an optimal Social Security strategy. heads up on this. It is most likely going to show you living a long life and taking Social Security at age 70, whereupon that benefit cannot go any higher. So that's why it's showing this $313,000 more from the optimal Social Security strategy versus taking it full retirement age. Here's how the numbers lay out. This should be no surprise. If we take as early as possible, which would be, well, in this case, Sam is 63, so him taking it 63, and then Sarah's 57, her taking it age 62, which is the earliest. You can see here that it's $1.9 million. If we wait till full retirement age, which means that both Sam and Sarah wait until age 67, we're up to $2.4 million. That's a sizable difference. Now, if Sarah was taking the spousal benefit, which would mean that her benefit was less than half of Sam's full retirement age benefit, that would change things a little bit. But because her benefit is $2,000, his is $3,000 at full retirement age, we have the numbers you see in front of you, 1.9, 2.4. That's a big deal. That's why it often doesn't make sense to take at age 62. If we go here to the optimal, you can see that this is at 2.7. So that's that $313,000 difference. So the difference here, which is 3 years, is about $313,000, which is the number we saw right here. The difference between taking at age 62, which is early, at age 67 is much larger. Of course, that's 5 years, but there's a big penalty in terms of the overall benefit when you take early. The next thing I want to do is to draw your attention to this probability of success, or from a Monte Carlo analysis. So what this means is all the information I put in the system, how old they are, when they're going to retire, when they're going to take Social Security, their investment mix, every last thing we know about the Smiths. So what the system does is it runs 1,000 different simulations based upon the information that I provided. What it's showing here is an 81% probability of success. What this means is that 810 of the simulations, the Smiths do not run out of money. In 190 cases, they do. This is kind of controversial because what this does, what this probability of success does, in my view, in my estimation, is that it creates a situation where people leave too much money. As we'll get to in a second, one of my overarching goals is always to help people spend as much as they can when they're younger and healthier. So I'm not a giant fan of this, but it is pretty well accepted in the industry as part of the planning process. This suggests that the plan is okay. This is another software that I use. It's called Income Lab, and I really love it because the idea behind Income Lab is that you are wiser to spend more money when you're younger and healthier. Monte Carlo analysis, as I mentioned, often leads to leaving more money, and most people have a goal of living life in retirement as they want, and leaving a legacy, while it may be important, is not always at the top of the list. So I love this because it says, how much can you spend? And then it battle tests the number against the worst economic times in history, the Great Recession, what happened, the dot-com bubble, the Great Depression, all of those different life events, to make sure that the number is sound. So what it shows right here is that we could spend $86.14 a month gross in retirement. So let me show you what I have over here, that they're going to retire in 2 years. And then I have them both living right here much longer than average. So essentially I have them planning to live longer than 80% of people our age. So the plan length would be about 40 years. So I'm going to monkey around with this a little bit later. I'm going to show you what happens if Sam passes away. But let me show you our different scenarios first. I have them both collecting at 67 years of age. You can see that right here. 67, 67. Here are their benefits, $3,000 for Sam, $2,000 for Sarah. This is known as a primary insurance amount. You can get this information by going to ssa.gov and creating an account. This software also gives you a break-even analysis, which suggests if he lives 79 years and 0 months, that it will have been wiser for him to wait until age 67. So what I did in this part of the analysis is I wasn't as concerned with what was the overall Social Security benefit amount, because we don't claim Social Security in a vacuum as part of an overall plan. I wanted to see what happens to their spending in certain scenarios. So what happens if we take Social Security at age 70? What the system is showing us now is that we can spend $8,600, $8,608 exactly, a month in retirement. This is a gross number. So you can see these numbers are pretty similar. And the reason is this. If the Smiths are going to take Social Security at age 65, 67, age 70, it doesn't matter. The period of time from when they retire to when they elect to start receiving their benefit, they're going to have to spend some money, their savings, unless they have a pension. Where's the money going to come from? So that's why these differences are not that big. Come down here, Social Security retirement, which would mean that Sam would start taking the benefit right now because he's 63, and then once she reached 62, that's the first age, Sarah would start to collect her benefit. Now you can see, because we're taking a little bit early, we reduce the amount of money we can spend per month. What happens if Sam passes away at age 80? You can see here, because what's going to happen then if Sam passes away, Sarah's benefit's going to go away if it's lower, and she's going to take his benefit. What happens in this case is that now, if we're going to model under that scenario, we're going to tell them to spend a little less money, in this case, $7,900. So all these numbers are very close. There's not a substantial amount of difference, again, because Social Security is only one component of the plan. So you can see this is kind of a mixed bag. I'd like to reinforce the idea that everyone's situation is unique and different, and that you should not follow generalized advice online or what you might overhear at your local Dunkin' Donuts. The most important thing for you to do is to build a solid retirement plan that works towards your retirement goals. Social Security is just one component. So here's a few comments. If you want to take your Social Security early, go ahead. It's not life or death. Many people wait until full retirement age, but if you retire at 65 without a pension, your options are to dip into your savings or start collecting Social Security. The money has to come from somewhere, unless you have a wealthy uncle leaving you an inheritance. Here's something else. When you're considering Social Security in retirement, I want you to challenge your advisor or yourself to spend more money while you're young and able to enjoy life. I find that traditional planning often leaves you with too much money later. If you don't use the money to travel to Europe or do things, your children might, instead of attending your funeral. Also, age difference matters. In this specific case, I would delay collecting a bit because of the age difference. I want Sam's benefit to grow in case he passes early. Here's how this works. If Sam passes, Sarah will retain either his benefit or hers, whichever is higher, but not both. If that happens, I want Sarah to have as much money as possible. So there are a few other considerations. If Sam or Sarah works part-time, they should delay. It's not worth it, unless it's a job with a small salary where it doesn't affect how Social Security administers the pay. Briefly, Social Security does not consider you retired if you're collecting and making too much money. Here's one more thing. If they do Roth conversions before they start collecting Social Security, this could ultimately reduce the tax they pay on that Social Security. This might help them in the long run, as the tax they pay is essentially predicated on how high their income is. Less income from less conversions, less tax. The overarching point is this. When to collect is just one decision among many in this part of your life. Just because you collect Social Security early doesn't mean your life was any better. In this case, I'm going to suggest they wait a bit because of their 6-year age difference. I simply believe that because of this span of time and the fact that Sam's benefit is higher, that this requires a little more of a nuanced strategy. If Sam passes, Sarah loses her benefit, as I mentioned. His is higher, and she could live quite a bit longer than him. Again, it's not life or death, but something to consider. Okay, now you know some of the things I look at to help people like you optimize your future. There is no exact process, but there are indeed many steps you'll need to take to achieve your retirement goals. There will be multiple different nuances that come up in your specific situation that I haven't been able to cover in such a short video. So if you want a team of professionals to analyze your particular situation and create an optimal plan completely tailored to you, click the first link in the description. It will take you to a page where you can book some time in our calendar for a free consultation. We can begin to help you build the retirement of your dreams. Thanks for watching.